Welcome back to the deep dive. We're here to take the source material, cut through all that noise, and give you the essential knowledge you need.
And today, we are diving into a really complex one, Florida. It's a destination that often feels, like a bundle of extreme contrasts.
Definitely. So our goal here is to get past the usual stuff, Disney, swamps, retirees, maybe those Florida man headlines.
Right, those headlines, which, interestingly, our sources suggest aren't just random weirdness. It's partly because Florida has such strong public records laws, the Sunshine Law. A lot just gets reported.
So it creates this kind of spotlight effect on local news, maybe making things seem even wilder than they are.
Exactly. And that feeds into this duality. You've got incredibly engineered family fun right next door to completely untamed nature, all under this, media microscope.
So we're going to unpack that. We'll look at the logistics of getting around the food scene, which is crucial, and the huge range of things to actually do. Is it worth it, or is it just, an expensive headache?
That's the question. Because Florida is a place of extremes. Extreme heat, humidity, crowds, sometimes extreme prices if you're not careful.
You really need a plan. So let's start with the absolute basics, but maybe the most critical decision, getting there. Which airport do you choose?
Okay, so Florida's massive, right? Where you land really sets the stage for everything else, especially transportation. For most people thinking theme parks, the default is Orlando International.
MCO.
MCO. The gateway to Disney, Universal, SeaWorld, all of it. It's a big modern airport, which sounds good.
It sounds good, but big also means busy, very busy. Our sources consistently describe it as an absolute zoo, particularly during holidays or summer peak.
Yeah, I've heard the walk from the gate to baggage claim can feel like its own
It
attraction.
really can. And then you hit the next hurdle because Orlando is fundamentally a driving city. You need a car.
Which brings us to the rental car center at MCO.
Ugh, the rental center. It can be an experience. You usually have to take a shuttle. Then you find yourself in this enormous queue. It's not a great way to start a vacation. Okay, so actionable advice here. What's the #1 tip from the sources?
Book your rental car way in advance. That's standard. But the key part is join the rental company's loyalty program beforehand.
A loyalty program. How much difference does that really make?
At a place like MCO, a huge difference. It almost always lets you bypass that main counter line entirely. You go to a specific kiosk or area, grab your keys, and you're out.
Ah, so you skip the giant queue.
Exactly. You could easily save an hour, maybe more, especially if you land at a busy time. It's a massive stress reducer right at the start.
Okay, that's a solid tip. Now, let's shift focus south. Miami International, MIA, versus Fort Lauderdale, FLO.
Right. South Florida. If you're heading to Miami, the beaches, or maybe starting a Keys trip,
Yeah.
you've got this choice. MIA is the giant international hub. Great direct flights, especially from Latin America and Europe. But it's often chaotic. It's huge, sprawling, and traffic around it can be really bad.
So even with better connections, maybe not the best experience.
For many domestic travelers, or even some coming from Europe, Fort Lauderdale, FLL, is often described as the smarter, saner option.
Okay, why FLO?
It's generally smaller, much easier to navigate, and often the flights are cheaper. Plus, and this is key, it's only about a 45-minute drive down to Miami, proper traffic permitting.
So you get a calmer airport experience without sacrificing too much convenience for getting to Miami itself.
Precisely. It's a really strong alternative, especially if Miami isn't your only destination.
Good point. And what about the other coast, the Gulf side? Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater.
For that whole stretch, Tampa International TPA is your best bet. And honestly, TPA gets rave reviews.
Oh, yeah.
Consistently ranked as one of the best airports in the U.S. It's clean, super efficient, easy to get around. They have this cool shuttle system connecting the main terminal to the gates.
So if a smooth airport experience is high on your list, TPA is the way to go.
Definitely. It's a stark contrast to the potential chaos at MCO or MIA.
Okay, so we've established you generally need a car, but there's a new-ish player changing things up for travel between cities, right? The Brightline train.
Ah, yes, the Bright Line. This is a big deal. It's a high-speed rail service, and it's seriously changing how you might plan a multi-city trip. It now connects Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, all the way up to the Orlando airport.
I've seen pictures, looks pretty slick. Comfortable, food, drinks, Wi-Fi. Premium experience.
It is. It's clean, comfortable, very pleasant.
But it's not cheap, right? How does the cost stack up against just driving a rental car? Where's the value?
That's the key question. The value isn't just in the ticket price versus gas. It's in avoiding the stress and the hidden costs of driving.
What kind of hidden costs?
Well, first, the rental car itself, especially if you need it for a week or two. Then gas, which is always fluctuating. But the big one in Florida, tolls.
Ah, the tolls are everywhere, aren't they?
Everywhere. Driving from Miami to Orlando, you'll hit a bunch of them. And you need an electronic pass, like a Sun Pass or E-Pass. If you don't have one, using the rental company's transponder can rack up some pretty hefty administrative fees on top of the toll costs.
Okay, so I see the calculation. If you're, say, a couple wanting to do Miami and Orlando, you factor in the car rental cost, gas, maybe $20, $30 in tolls each way, plus the potential transponder fees.
And critically, the driving time and stress. Driving I-95 especially can be intense. 4 hours, maybe more, of potentially stressful driving versus sitting back on a comfortable train.
Suddenly, that Brightline ticket looks more appealing. You skip the rental hassle for that leg, avoid the tolls, avoid the driving stress.
Exactly. When you factor all that in, especially for longer distances like South Florida to Orlando, the Brightline can actually be a really smart, almost relaxing choice. You arrive feeling much fresher.
Makes sense. Okay, let's talk about where you sleep. Lodging. This seems like another area with huge potential cost differences, especially in Orlando. On-site Disney or Universal versus off-site.
This is a classic Orlando dilemma. Staying right on property at a Disney or Universal resort has undeniable perks.
Like the early park access.
Yes, early park access is huge. Plus, free transportation buses, boats, monorails, the Skyliner it makes, getting around the resort area is seamless, and you get that total immersion, the magic, 24/7.
But that immersion comes at a price, a steep one.
Oh, absolutely. You're paying a significant premium for that convenience. A standard room at an on-site resort can easily be double, sometimes triple, the price of something comparable just a few miles away. And that's often before you add resort fees and parking costs.
So what's the alternative for someone watching their budget or maybe needing more space?
Just off property, especially in areas like Kissimmee, you find a ton of options. Vacation home rentals, condos, often with multiple bedrooms, full kitchens, even private pools.
Full kitchens, that's a big money saver right there, not eating every meal out.
Huge.
Yeah.
And you get way more space, privacy, often for half the price of a moderate Disney resort room. And you're usually only a 10, maybe 15-minute drive from the park gates.
So it's a trade-off. Ultimate convenience and theme immersion versus space, budget, and maybe a bit more relaxation away from the park intensity.
Exactly. If you're doing commando-style park days, maybe on-site is worth it. If you have young kids needing naps or want that pool and kitchen, off-property often makes more sense.
Okay. Now, Miami lodging. Here, the choice seems less about budget versus convenience and more about the vibe you're looking for.
Definitely. Miami's all about the vibe. If you want that iconic, high-energy, see-and-be-seen experience, then South Beach is where you head. Art Deco hotels, rooftop pools, the beach scene. It's electric.
But it comes with caveats.
Big caveats. South Beach is all out day, all the time. Parking is notoriously difficult and expensive. And the hotel prices, especially for anything decent on Ocean Drive or Collins, can be sky high.
So if that constant intensity isn't your thing or your budget's tighter, where else?
Our sources point to several great alternatives. Mid-Beach offers a similar oceanfront feel, but it's generally a bit quieter, more relaxed.
Still beach access, but less chaos.
Right. Or you could look at Wynwood. It's famous for its incredible street art, the Wynwood walls, lots of galleries, cool bars, and restaurants. It's got a really vibrant, artsy, local feel, more boutique hotels there.
And the design district.
That's more high-end. Luxury shopping, avant-garde architecture, very stylish boutique hotels. It's chic, definitely, but still offers a different energy than South Beach. More curated, less frantic.
Good options. Finally, let's head south again down the Keys. Lodging there seems like a different beast altogether.
Totally different. The Keys are about slowing down, decompression, sunsets. The vibe shift is palpable as soon as you hit Key Largo.
And the lodging reflects that.
Yeah. In Key West, you've got those charming historic inns, often with lovely porches and hidden courtyard pools. Very atmospheric. Further up, in the Middle Keys, like Marathon or Islamorada, you find more sprawling resorts, often focused on boating, fishing, marina life.
Sounds idyllic. What's the catch?
Inventory, simple as that. The Keys are islands. There's only so much land, only so many places to stay.
So planning is critical.
Absolutely critical. Our sources were unanimous on this. You have to book lodging in the Keys far, far in advance, especially if you're going during peak season winter or for a big event like Fantasy Fest in Key West.
If you wait too long,
You'll either find astronomical prices for what's left or just nothing. No rooms available. Seriously, plan ahead for the Keys.
okay, we figured out how to get there, how to get around, where to stay. Now, let's talk about something crucial, the food. Because Florida offers way more than theme park burgers and fried fish basket.
Oh, absolutely. There's a really distinct and culturally rich food scene, especially if you know where to look. And the undeniable heart of that, particularly in Miami, is Cuban food.
It's not just part of the food scene, it's like the soul of it.
Exactly. It is the cultural heartbeat of Miami. Generations of Cuban immigrants have shaped the city's identity, and the food is central to that.
And if you're going to experience it, there's one place you absolutely have to go, right? Versailles.
Versailles in Little Havana. It's an institution, part restaurant, part social club, part political gathering spot. It's noisy, it's bustling, it's authentic. You go there to soak in the atmosphere as much as for the food.
So what are the must-order dishes when you're there? The classics.
Okay, number one, obviously, the classic Cuban sandwich.
Yeah.
Ham, roasted pork, Swiss cheese, pickles, mustard, all pressed hot and crispy on that specific Cuban bread. It's iconic for a reason.
Got it. But there's another sandwich that's just as important, the medianoche.
Yes, the medianoche. You have to try it. The difference is the bread.
How so?
It uses a softer, slightly sweeter egg bread, almost like challah. It gives a different texture and flavor balance against the fillings. Medianoche means midnight. Supposedly, it was a popular late-night snack.
Interesting. Okay, beyond sandwiches.
Ropa vieja. It's shredded beef, slow-cooked in this incredibly flavorful tomato and pepper sauce until it's falling apart. Just with rice and beans, maybe some plantains. It's classic comfort food.
Sounds amazing. But the real Miami ritual, the thing you see everywhere, is the coffee, isn't it? The cafecito.
Oh, the cafecito is essential. It's not just coffee. It's a cultural ritual. It's a tiny shot of very strong, very sweet Cuban espresso.
How do they make it so sweet? Is the sugar just dumped in?
There's an art to it. The first few drops of espresso are whipped vigorously with sugar to create this creamy, sweet foam called espumita. Then the rest of the espresso is added. It's intense.
And you get it from those little walk-up windows, ventanitas.
Exactly. You see them everywhere. You walk up, order a cafecito, maybe some pastelitos, pastries. You drink the coffee standing right there, usually in 1 or 2 sips. It's quick, social, and gives you this immediate jolt of energy. You have to try it.
Okay, cafecito from a ventanita. Added to the list. Now let's head down the Keys again. Seafood is king, obviously grouper, mahi-mahi, stone crabs when they're in season.
Absolutely. The fresh seafood is incredible.
But the one thing you absolutely cannot leave the Keys without trying is key lime pie. And you mentioned being a purist about this.
You have to be a purist about key lime pie. There are rules, important rules.
Lay them on me. What defines real key lime pie for the informed traveler?
Okay, rule number 1, the color. It must be yellow, pale yellow. If it's green, it has artificial coloring. That's a disqualification right there.
Yellow, not green. Got it. Rule 2.
The flavor. It must be tart. Key limes, the actual small limes historically grown in the Keys, are intensely aromatic and acidic. That tartness should be the dominant flavor, balanced by the sweetness of the condensed milk, not overwhelmed by it. If it tastes like sugary pudding, it's wrong.
Tart, not just sweet, makes sense. And rule 3.
It should be served cold. Often really cold, sometimes even slightly frozen, especially on a hot day, and usually on a graham cracker crust, sometimes meringue topping, sometimes whipped cream.
Okay, yellow, tart, cold. That's the trifecta. Any specific place known for doing it right?
Kermit's Key West Key Lime shop is legendary. They do classic slices, but they're also famous for their frozen key lime pie slice dipped in chocolate, served on a stick.
Chocolate-dipped frozen key lime pie on a stick. That sounds like the perfect Keys survival food.
It really is. Perfect for walking around Key West in the heat. Now, moving away from Miami and the Keys, a lot of people miss out on other interesting food scenes.
Like Tampa and St. Pete, you mentioned those earlier.
Yeah, Tampa especially has a fascinating culinary history centered around Ybor City. It was founded by cigar manufacturers, drawing workers from Cuba, Spain, and Italy.
So the food reflects that mix.
Absolutely. You get amazing Spanish bean soup, deviled crabs, which are a local specialty, and this is where that other Cuban sandwich claim comes from.
Right, the Tampa versus Miami Cuban sandwich debate.
Tampa's claim is that the sandwich originated there in the immigrant communities, and the key difference is the addition of Genoa salami, reflecting the Italian influence. It's a fun local rivalry.
That's the kind of local detail that makes travel interesting. And is there a broader statewide food style we should know about?
Yes, definitely look out for Floridian cuisine. It's kind of a fusion style you'll find in good independent restaurants across the state.
Floridian.
Yeah.
What does that involve?
It's all about using fresh, local Florida ingredients, seafood, citrus, tropical fruits like mangoes and papayas, and combining them with Caribbean flavors and techniques. Think jerk spices, coconut milk, cilantro, lime.
So maybe like grilled grouper with a mango salsa or snapper with jerk seasoning?
Exactly that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's designed to be light, bright, and flavorful, perfect for the warm climate. It's a really delicious representation of modern Florida cooking.
So the takeaway is definitely seek out the Cuban food in Miami, be a purist about key lime pie, explore Tampa's history, and look for that fresh Floridian style. Skip the generic chains.
That's the plan. Your food budget can buy you some amazing experiences if you choose wisely.
All right, let's talk activities. And we have to start with the big one, the main draw for millions. The theme parks in Orlando.
The 800-pound gorilla, yeah. Disney World, Universal Orlando.
Yeah.
Look, they are undeniably world-class entertainment destinations. The level of detail, the technology, the storytelling, it's incredible.
But the reality for the visitor.
The reality is they are exhausting, they are incredibly crowded most of the time, and they are very expensive, both to get in and once you're inside.
So for the strategic traveler trying to maximize enjoyment and minimize pain, what's the approach?
Efficiency is everything.
Yeah.
First, use the official park apps, My Disney Experience for Disney, the Universal Orlando app. They have maps, wait times, show schedules, mobile ordering for food, essential tools.
And planning ahead is key, right? You can't just wander in.
Absolutely not. You need to know your must-do rides and attractions before you go, and you need to embrace the rope drop strategy.
Rope drop. Explain that.
It means getting to the park entrance well before it officially opens. They usually let people into the main entrance area early. You position yourself near the rope, blocking the path to the land you want to hit first, and when they drop the rope at opening time, you walk quickly, no running, to your priority ride.
Why is that first hour so important?
Because the crowds are lowest then. You can often knock out 2, maybe even 3 major headliner attractions in that first 60, 90 minutes with minimal waits before the park really fills up. It sets a positive tone for the day.
Okay, rope drop. Got it. Now the controversial part. Line skipping services. Genie Plus at Disney, Express Pass at Universal, are they worth the extra cost?
Ah, the million-dollar question. They work differently. Let's break it down. Genie Plus at Disney World is something you buy on a day, per person. The price varies based on demand. It lets you book return times for the Lightning Lane entrance for one ride at a time throughout the day via the app.
So you're constantly on your phone booking the next available slot.
Pretty much. It requires active management. You book one, use it, then immediately look for the next one. Some really popular rides aren't included and require buying an individual Lightning Lane entry separately. It's complex.
Okay. And Universal's Express Pass.
Universal Express Pass is usually simpler, but typically much more expensive upfront. You buy it for the day, or you might get it included if you stay at one of their premier hotels, and it gives you skip the regular line access to most rides, usually unlimited times. Just walk up, show your pass, and get in the shorter express line.
So Jetty Plus is cheaper but requires more work, while Express Pass is pricey but offers maximum convenience.
That's a good summary. If your time is really limited and your budget allows, Express Pass at Universal can dramatically change your day. Genie Plus at Disney helps, but you're still doing a lot of planning and phone checking. Knowing which system you're dealing with and maybe factoring the cost in from the start is crucial.
And timing your whole trip matters too, right? Avoid the peaks.
Oh, absolutely. If you can, avoid peak times like Christmas week, Easter week, and midsummer. The crowds are just overwhelming. Our sources consistently recommend September, right after Labor Day.
Still hot and humid then, though.
Yes, usually still very hot and humid, but the crowds thin out significantly. Late January, early February can also be good between the holiday rushes.
Okay, let's escape the theme parks now and talk about the other Florida. The wild, natural side. This seems like a huge contrast.
It really is. And it's just as compelling, maybe more so for some people. Let's start with the Everglades National Park.
It's not mountains or canyons. It's
different.
totally unique.
It's described as a river of grass, this vast, slow-moving sheet of water flowing across southern Florida. It's a fragile, subtropical wetland ecosystem. Think sawgrass prairies, mangrove forests, cypress domes, and tons of wildlife.
How do you actually see it? Can you hike?
There are some boardwalk trails and visitor centers,
Yeah.
but to really get a sense of the scale and see the wildlife, especially alligators, an airboat tour is the classic way.
Loud, right?
Very loud, yes, and windy. But they skim over the water and get you into areas you couldn't otherwise reach. It feels kind of prehistoric. You're almost guaranteed to see gators.
Okay, Everglades airboat. Now, what about those springs you mentioned? Central and North Florida.
The springs are magical. Florida sits on this massive underground aquifer, and where that water comes to the surface, you get these incredible natural springs. Places like Ginny Springs, Blue Springs State Park, Weeki
And the
Wachee,
water is super clear.
crystal clear, like swimming in bottled water. And the amazing thing is, the water temperature stays a constant 72 degrees Fahrenheit, about 22 Celsius, all year round. Refreshing in the summer, relatively warm in the winter.
And that consistent temperature attracts something special in the winter, right? Manatees.
Yes, manatee season is roughly November through March. When the water temperature in the Gulf and the Atlantic drops, hundreds of these huge, gentle sea cows head into the warmer springs.
Can you actually swim near them?
In some designated areas, yes, you can snorkel or kayak. It's an absolutely unforgettable experience to see these massive, peaceful animals underwater, but there are strict rules. Passive observation only. Look, don't touch. They're protected.
An incredible wildlife encounter. Okay, shifting from nature to history. Many people probably don't think of Florida as a major historical destination.
But it absolutely is. St. Augustine on the northeast coast is a must-visit for history buffs. It was founded by the Spanish way back in 1565.
1565, so it's the oldest continuously inhabited European settlement in the U.S.
Exactly. And it feels like it. Walking around the old city, you've got narrow cobblestone streets, Spanish colonial architecture with balconies, coquina walls. It's incredibly atmospheric.
And the big fort there?
The Castillo de San Marcos is massive, made of that coquina shell stone right on the bay. It's remarkably well preserved. St. Augustine offers a completely different pace and perspective than Orlando or Miami.
And speaking of different perspectives, Kennedy Space Center, KSC.
KSC is awe-inspiring. Even if you're not a huge space nerd, it's hard not to be moved by it.
What makes it so impactful?
It's the scale, I think. Seeing the actual hardware. Walking through the rocket garden with these towering rockets from the Mercury, Gemini, Apollo eras, going to the Apollo Saturn V Center, and standing underneath a real Saturn V moon rocket. It's just immense. It fills the entire building.
Wow, and the Space Shuttle Atlantis.
Seeing Atlantis, that's powerful. It's suspended from the ceiling as if in flight, payload bay, doors open, canted arm extended. And this isn't a mock-up. This orbiter flew 33 missions. You see the scorch marks from re-entry. It really hits you. The ambition, the engineering, the risk, it provides a dose of genuine awe.
A good counterpoint to theme park thrills. Okay, finally, beaches. Florida obviously has tons of them, but are they all the same?
Not at all. There's a distinct difference generally between the Atlantic Coast beaches and the Gulf Coast beaches.
Okay, break that down. Atlantic side Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Cocoa Beach.
Generally, the Atlantic side has slightly coarser, maybe darker sand. The water tends to have more wave action, better for surfing or bodyboarding. And the water can be warmer, especially further south, thanks to the Gulf Stream current running close to shore. It's often the more energetic, scene-oriented coast.
And the Gulf Coast, like Naples, Sarasota, Clearwater, St. Pete.
The Gulf side is known for its tranquility and its incredible sand quality. Places like Siesta Key near Sarasota are world famous for their sand.
What's special about the sand there?
It's almost pure quartz crystal. It's incredibly fine, like powder or flour, and it stays remarkably cool underfoot, even on the hottest days. The water on the Gulf is usually much calmer, often shallower near the shore, and has that beautiful turquoise color.
So Gulf Coast is better for calmer swimming, families, maybe shelling?
Exactly. It's generally more laid back, focused on relaxation and natural beauty. So yeah, Florida offers a beach for pretty much any mood or preference you have.
So we've covered a lot of great things to do and see, but a smart trip also involves knowing what not to do, what to avoid. What are some common Florida tourist traps or blunders?
Okay, my first big skip would be, geographically speaking, most of International Drive in Orlando.
I drive. It's that huge road lined with hotels, restaurants, attractions.
Yes, but it's heavily dominated by chain restaurants, endless tacky souvenir shops, and a lot of, frankly, second or third-rate attractions with high price tags.
So it lacks authentic Florida character.
Massively. While there might be a couple of decent hotels or specific things worth seeing on it, as a general area to just hang out or find unique food or experiences,
Yeah.
no. You're much better off exploring other neighborhoods or saving your money for better meals or park tickets. It can feel pretty soulless.
Okay, skip generic I drive. My big warning is more of a safety issue, and it's crucial. I would strongly advise against swimming in most Florida lakes, ponds, and canals.
Ooh, yeah, that's a really important one. Why is that? Seems counterintuitive when it's so hot.
Two main reasons, both pretty serious. First, alligators. They are present in basically any body of fresh water in Florida, from golf course ponds to big lakes. They might look slow, but they're apex predators, and you just don't want to share the water with them unexpectedly.
Right, the gator factor is real. What's the second reason?
This one's rarer, but scarier. Brain-eating amoebas. Niglaria fowleri. It thrives in warm, stagnant fresh water, especially when the water gets stirred up. Infections are rare, but almost always fatal. Okay, that's terrifying. So the advice is stick to designated swimming areas.
Absolutely. Stick to the clear flowing springs we talked about, the ocean beaches or chlorinated swimming pools. Don't just jump into a random neighborhood lake or retention pond. The risk, however small, just isn't worth it.
Excellent safety tip. What's another common blunder people make, maybe trip planning wise?
Attempting Key West as a day trip from Miami.
Ah, I can see how people might think that's doable. Look at a map.
It looks doable on a map, but the reality is brutal. The drive down the overseas highway, while scenic in parts, is mostly a two-lane road with limited passing opportunities. From Miami, realistically, you're looking at least 4 hours driving time each way.
So 8 hours in the car for maybe 4 or 5 hours actually in Key West?
Exactly. And that's assuming no major traffic backups, which can happen easily, especially on weekends or if there's an accident on one of the bridges. You arrive exhausted, rush around, and then face another long drive back. It completely misses the point of Key West.
What is the point of Key West then?
It's about slowing down, experiencing the sunset celebration at Mallory Square, which is a must-do, listening to live music on Duval Street at night, soaking in the quirky, laid-back atmosphere. You really need at least one overnight stay, preferably two, to even begin to appreciate it. Don't do the day trip dash.
Good advice. Spend the night. My last skip is a smaller one but relevant. Skip buying those mass-produced seashells in souvenir shops.
Oh yeah, the bags of perfectly polished, identical shells.
Right. They often aren't even from Florida, and they just feel generic. There's a much better way to get a souvenir shell. Actually, find one yourself. Go for a walk on the beach, especially at low tide. The Gulf Coast beaches, particularly Sanibel Island, which is world-renowned for its shelling, are fantastic for this. Finding your own unique shell, maybe an interesting sand dollar or whelk, that's a much more meaningful souvenir.
Exactly. It connects you to the place. It's free and it's authentic. Way better than a bag of commercially harvested shells.
Okay, we have covered a lot of ground. Orlando strategy, Miami vibes, key lime pie purity, gators, amoebas, space shuttles. It's been a journey across the state. Time to pull it all together. What's the final synthesis? What is the real vibe of Florida?
I think the main takeaway, the core idea is that you have to reject the notion of a single Florida vibe. It just doesn't exist.
It's too diverse for one label.
Exactly. It's a mosaic. You've got the hyper-modern, Latin-influenced energy of Miami running 247. That's worlds apart from the meticulously planned, family-centric bubble of Orlando, which is, again, totally different from the intentionally slow, escape-the-world feeling of the Keys.
And then you throw in the quiet history of St. Augustine, the relaxed beach towns on the Gulf Coast.
Right. It's this collection of different worlds, often right next to each other.
Yeah.
And underpinning it all is that contrast we started with. Stunning natural beauty, the Everglades, the springs, the beaches bumping right up against massive human engineering. And yes, artificiality. It's relaxed and chaotic, historic and hypermodern.
Which brings us back to the big question. After this deep dive, weighing the pros and cons, the logistics, the costs, the experiences, is Florida ultimately worth it? Is it a trip you should take?
My conclusion, based on everything we've covered, is yes. An emphatic yes. But
there's always a but. What's the condition?
it's only worth it if you choose the Florida that's right for you. You have to be intentional, know what you want out of the trip.
Because if you want laid-back beaches and end up in the middle of Orlando Park chaos, you'll be miserable.
Precisely. If you hate crowds, maybe skip South Beach during peak season. If history is your goal, prioritize St. Augustine. If you want that unique wildlife encounter, plan around manatee season or an Everglades trip. The value proposition depends entirely on matching the state's incredible diversity to your own travel style and goals.
I completely agree. Florida demands a bit more strategy than some destinations, maybe, but the payoff is access to these really unique, often contradictory experiences. It lets you choose your own adventure, from utterly wild nature to the peak of manufactured fun.
And I think if you as a traveler are willing to look beyond the easy stereotypes, beyond the Florida man headlines, and really engage with that diversity of the food, the history, the ecosystems, the different cultural pockets, then Florida becomes more than just a vacation spot.
How so?
It becomes a fascinating case study, really. A place that embodies the tension between nature and development, history and the future, chaos and control. That tension itself is interesting.
That's a great final thought. The state's ability to contain both the wild Everglades and the hyper-managed Magic Kingdom almost side by side, that juxtaposition says a lot. It forces you to think about those contrasts. Definitely worth exploring if you choose your adventure wisely.